background conversation about Jaino Mumbono. So after 2 or 3 exchanges, and of course this one, it's not necessarily an exchange because the man who was at the center of the melee was not giving back some of the first calls to those who were trading it to him. It was at a certain point when he was able to extricate himself from a number of the people who were assaulting him before we realized that apparently one individual was standing just before him as if the fight was just between these two individuals. But I must say that before we saw these two clear individuals, standing head to head, it was one of mob attack, it was one of a chaotic scene, as if everybody was pouncing on just an individual to attack him.
And it was a police officer in a helmet.
Like I said, it didn't look clear as if he was a police officer. But when finally he stood apart from the rest of them, then you can't tell. And you see, lately most people wear this blue-black apparel. So it is. You may assume it's a police officer. It may not be a police officer until we have more information to tell us it's a police officer. But from what we are getting, there is confirmation that actually
exactly.
Yes, but from looking at the video, you may mistake him to be any of the other people who normally wear police apparel with reflectors being attacked.
Okay, I'm opening the phone lines at this point. 6 minutes past 8. 0302 216 541 0302 216 541 0244 340 437. I want to get your comments on this because I seem to be getting some varied reactions from the public through the text messages and the tweets that we are seeing. Some people are seeing this as sort of a poetic justice on the police, considering the kind of treatments that citizens have been receiving from the police in the past few days. And I'll reference what happened on Friday. Some people are even expressing surprise that this person has been found, this driver and his mates have been found. They are currently in police custody in a very short space of time, when after months we have not seen Lateef Idris's attackers identified. We have not seen that police official who allegedly attacked, Lateef Idris's alleged attackers and the officials who allegedly attacked the Ghanaian Times journalist in last week. We haven't seen that official who allegedly shot the young man Ojo Ajete Anum, whom Jojo covered the story, and who currently is having difficulty speaking, and this person has not been identified since May 2018. So a lot of questions are being raised, but are these questions fair? And what would you say is the current state of the relationship between Ghana Police Service and the citizens that are supposed to be protected by the service? Before my first caller comes in, anymore, what are the facts that we know from the viewpoint of the police?
So we know that they've taken these people into custody. We know that they've been provisionally charged with 4 counts. Assaulted. I need the paper to go through what it is again. And so they're going to prosecute them for what they did to the police officer. But sentiments alone, and also going through the text messages, there's almost, like you said, a certain sort of poetic justice and an almost sort of, I'm using the word very reservedly, a certain sort of glee about the fact that police officers have been assaulted, which is unfortunate. But then again, it's almost to be expected.
Let me take the first caller, though. Moses is calling from Neboy Town. Good morning, Moses.
Morning. How are you doing?
I am blessed. How are you doing?
I'm kicking, but
okay.
And let me go straight to the point. Most unfortunate, we have politicians who have abused the police, and nothing goes against them. And so, if we, the citizens, see things of this nature going on when nobody is above the law, but some are more equal than others, this is what happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very loaded statements there from Moses. Ronald from Ajirigano is on the line. Good morning, Ronald.
Good morning, Daniel.
Great. Ronald, let's hear you. The relationship, between the citizens and the police. What's the current state now?
Well, it's obvious. You can see what is happening. It's very bad. It's appalling. And the manner of agency that the police arrested this so-called driver I expect them to, do same when the police also come against the citizenry. Look at what happened between the police personnel and then your journalist, your colleague.
Latif Idris.
Yeah. To date, we don't know what's happening. So the way they were able to arrest this mate and then the driver, we expect them to also take action immediately when the thing happens, when it involves them and then the citizenry. I think that's what I would say.
Thank you very much, Ronald. Della is calling from Dodoa. Good morning, Della.
Morning, Didi. How are you?
I am blessed, though. How are you?
Fine.
Okay, I seem to be getting some feedback. Della, sorry. Please reduce your radio volume, eh? I'm getting some feedback on this end. Then you can go ahead. Oh, it's so bad. Sorry, Della. So like I'm asking,
Hello?
Yes, it's much better now. Go ahead with your submission.
Okay. I'm a bit happy this morning, but sad.
You are happy, but sad.
Against the citizen. That one, the law works. When the police beat the citizen, the law doesn't work. That one, you don't go to court. But when they are abused, it goes to go straight, and they know the one who has abused them. What kind of country are we in? No one is above the law. Someone should fight for those mates and the driver. They might have done wrong, but it is too quick to judge whether do they even investigate to know what the policemen have done. You know, sometimes when some of them take the laws into their own hands and just perpetrate justice in their own way, please.
But you see, Della. You are calling for the laws to work. Assault is assault, isn't it? Aggravated assault is still assault. Exactly. No matter how it was provoked.
That one, the police don't know how to go to court. They're investigating. But when it's done against them, they know that the laws must work.
Interesting question. It seems to be running through this morning. Da Costa is calling from Kumasi. Good morning, Da Costa. I almost said good morning, Kumasi. Hi, Da Costa.
Yes, Daniel.
Great. How's Kumasi this morning?
Daniel, let me state that I do not in any way condone what happened between the driver and the police officer. But then I have a few questions. How long did it take the police to arrest these two assailants of the police officer? How long has it been since Latif was assaulted at the CID headquarters? And yet the police is unable to identify who is assailant. How long has it been since the Ghanaian Times reporters were assaulted and we know who did it? Have they been arrested? Have they been charged? Have they been arraigned for court? Is the police more human than the rest of us? There were a lot of people looking on. Ordinarily, you would have expected these people to protect the police officer, but they were edging on his assailants. Do you think they would have done that if they trusted the police to do a good job? Are we certain what went on immediately before all of this started? Because I suppose that if this police officer was being very professional as he should be, then the onlookers, in one way or the other, would have protected him.
No, Da Costa, let's not be quick to pass judgments on the issues that led to this incident.
I am not. I'm only asking questions.
Yes. But yes. I understand the questions that you're asking. Da Costa, thank you very much for calling, though. Yeah, that's all we have time for. Abeku is on the line from Lashibi. He's been here for a minute. Hi, good morning, Abeku.
Good morning, Daniel.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Daniel.
Great. Do you also have some questions?
Not really questions, but I am a bit disappointed, and indeed, what is happening is not the best for the country. You know, when citizens rise up against those who are supposed to protect them, it calls for a lot of concern in the system. You know, and gradually we are getting to that state where citizens feel that nobody can protect them, so they must protect themselves. And then they even fight the very people whom we pay to protect them. And we can say it as though but that is where we are going.
Abeku, is this not a one-off event?
It is not.
Really?
It is not. I submit that it is not. You see, and like one lady said, when it affects the police, they are quick to find the culprit and find justice. But when it affects the citizenry, they throw their arms up in the air. And somehow we don't get it right.
Thanks, Aveku. Let me get Eddie's thoughts from Tadi. Good morning, Eddie, calling from my hometown, Takrady. How you doing?
Charlie, I'm doing good. And
awesome.
You guys are also doing wonderful.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
But I'm so sad about the push that you guys are taking in Joy FM. I also understand that you should be in the middle, but this shouldn't be a news. I mean, how many times has police not assault civilians negatively? What have the authorities done? It's always been like 4 less good, 2 less bad. That's the animal farm we are living. I'm not saying that it is right for a civilian to assault a police. Count the number of times in a year police assault on civilians, on pressmen. And how many times has police guys been brought to book? And this is one. And then it looks like hell is broken loose. I mean, we should be serious.
Eddie, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So if we have reported our colleagues being assaulted, and we've reported citizens being assaulted, is it not fair that we also report when a policeman is assaulted?
It is. I'm saying that it is. But then you are making it look like it is something which is blown out of proportion. See, like I always say, in a year, you count the many times the police have assaulted civilians and then pressmen. Always come back and we using a minimum force. What happened to those guys? You assault innocent guys, and then you hear police fire at people innocently. What do we hear about it? After investigation, do we hear anything? Nothing we hear. But then when it comes the other way around, yes, then hey, it is wrong. I'm not saying that it is right for us to assault the police, but then it should also not be right for the police to assault the civilians wrongly. If they do that, they should be brought to book. We must know, we must see, and we must hear the report.
Thank you very much, Eddie, for calling us from Takrady. Very, very passionate thoughts expressed there. Phil is calling from close by North Kanishi, just a few meters away. Good morning, Phil.
Yeah, Daniel, good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Awesome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Daniel, I'm a bit disappointed in you this morning, actually. You see, I don't really support what happened last year at the police headquarters as Latif was assaulted and stuff like that. I think you're supposed to open a platform for just this discussion about this, what happened about, the policeman being assaulted. Just about that. But, you put it in a broad form like, the Latif issue and stuff like that. So people are bringing out their opinion.
So, Phil, do you think people are bringing out their opinions because of what I said? Or I repeated, no, let me ask this question. Or I repeated people's opinions, because we have been getting that sort, and Twitter is an open platform.
I know.
So you can look at the people who have been tweeting at us.
I know.
And you can check those comments.
But you're supposed to deal with this particular issue. We are talking about this issue, not like this.
But we are dealing with this issue.
I know.
Are we not?
You're supposed to talk about this only, because this is what you're talking about. This is what has happened just about 3 days ago or 4 days ago. So you're supposed to raise this particular issue and forget about the other assaults and stuff like that. Now people are backing, what has happened. Like people are siding with the assault. They are supporting the truck driver and stuff like that, which I think is you're wrong, seriously. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil, for calling us from North Kanishi. Bishop is calling from Asante Mampong. Good morning, Bishop.
Hello.
Hi, Bishop. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Didi.
Great.
Daniel Dazi, how are you?
I am blessed, though. I am blessed. Let's hear you.
Daniel Dazi, all this here from previous callers and concerns across the country. I think it's an issue of what is good for the gander is good for the goose. And we are all equal before the law. Every wrong is a wrong. Every act of breaking the law is criminal, whether on the part of the police or the part of civilians. So I think the law should work equally. I want to repeat, the law should work
equally
for all of us.
Thank you very much, Bishop, for calling. Kobe is calling from Tema. Good morning, Kobe.
Yeah, good morning.
Great. Your radio volume is a bit high. I'm getting some Slight feedback. Turn it off for me, okay?
Is it better now?
It's clear. Okay, let's hear you now.
You see, the account or the full story on...
Kobe, sorry, there's still a hint of the feedback in there. Turn it off totally, okay? Don't reduce the volume.
Is it better now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I understand that what you guys see in the video is not a reflection of the full account. I understand exactly that what happened was, it was the police officer who assaulted the guy. At a point in time, he couldn't take it anymore, and he had to, in a form of self-defense, beat the police officer up. That is the full story. So, people who were ready to take the video could not have preempted how the whole incident was going to start. So the police officer had actually punched the guy about 3-4 times. He started bleeding through the nose. And then he felt that, look, I couldn't take this anymore. He had to react. But that's it. I have monitored your presentations, I think, for quite some time now. And sometimes I feel that the topics that you treat on the Super Morning Show, you trivialize them. Even like sensationalizing stories. But you like trivializing stories. Hello?
Yes. Kobe, I only have a question. Thanks for your feedback. I really appreciate it. But I only have a quick question on what you said earlier. What's your source of that information?
Well, there's an eyewitness. Okay? Hello?
I'm listening.
Hello?
I'm listening, Kobe, I'm listening.
Okay, there's an eyewitness, and I got this information also from Randy Abbey's at the Good Morning Ghana.
Okay, so what we did is that we picked the official account from the police, and that's what we have reported since morning.
I think you guys should dig. You should dig further, because what actually happened was, it was the police officer who started the assault. At a point in time, the guy couldn't take it anymore. He had to retaliate. So that is what actually happened.
Right. Thanks, Kobe, for that feedback. Thank you very much. Kofi Bajima is calling from Kumasi. Good morning, Kofi.
Yeah, good morning, Daniel. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
I'm fine. This is Kofi Bajimba.
Yes.
See, Daniel, I want to ask this question. When a policeman is assaulted by civilians, that one is classified as an assault. What about if police assault civilian? How do you classify that? Because we have so many instances where police have assaulted civilians without any tangible reason. When a driver jumps over traffic, what do you do as a police officer? You just arrest the person, you send him to the police station and charge him. What caused the fight between him and the driver and the driver's mate? You see, sometimes we have to be sincere. The way and manner the police people are doing these days, it needs much to be, we need
much
to
be
talk
desired,
about.
is what you want to say. Thank you very much, Kofi, for calling from Kumasi. Ya is on the line from Odoko. Good morning, Ya.
Good morning.
Hi, Ya,
Good morning,
I can hear
Daniel.
some feedback. Yes, please.
How are you?
I am blessed. Ya, please turn off your radio. Okay.
Hello?
Good. It's clear now. Let's hear you.
I said, okay, I think the police needs education. They need to be educated. That's the only solution, because at times they behave as uneducated people who have been employed into the service. So I think it is some of them, their behavior leads to these things. So I think as for Ghana police, I don't trust them, and they deserve all this. So look at the military; they are well disciplined. No matter where they are, it's only you can come just a few. But police, Daniel, they need to be educated. They should go to school and teach them what the rules and the regulations of this nation is.
But
they are disgracing us.
Yeah, to be fair, we are discussing the assault of a police officer, aren't we? We are discussing the assault of a police officer. Isn't that what we are discussing now?
Yes, but Daniel, please, if they are well educated, nurtured and cultured in the constitution of what police stand for, I think these things will not happen.
They will not be assaulted?
Never. Hey, a well educated police who knows his rights of a citizenry and of a service, These things will not happen. Go to London. Do they do this? Do they collect bribe? Do they drink? Do they just arrest people indiscriminately?
Okay, so your argument is that the police is triggering these assaults on them. Okay. Nana is calling from Adenta. Good morning, Nana.
Good morning, Daniel.
Nana Harden, Mr. Ho. Let's hear you. Let's hear you, Nana.
This is Ghana man.
Joy FM goes local will come. Please, Joy goes local will come. Don't worry. Wait for that.
Don't worry. I mean, I just want to contribute. It's about this. I think the 4 last callers, the last one, the one who was attacking that Latif one is not what we are discussing. We are not discussing Latif one, but I mean, you can't say. I mean, what has happened to the police is more. The policeman is more important. I'm an officer anyway, but we should treat each other as brethren. I mean, we are all brothers and sisters in this country. You understand? So you can't say that. I mean, somebody has assaulted a policeman, so the policeman is more important than Latif. How many months now? It happened at the police CID headquarters. We have cameras there. They have not seen the policeman. You get it? We have videos all around. Things do happen. And then you think, right, when it happens to a policeman, fine, that one there, Asamaba. But when it happens to a civilian, there, no. What is that?
Thank you very much, Nana, for calling. Ajiman Joseph is on the line from Community 9 in Tema. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Joe. Okay, so I'm not hearing Ajiman Joseph on the line. 26 minutes past 8. There are a few messages here that we will go through. Any more?
Okay. Nelly says, why should the Trotro and other transport operators respect the police when they accept 1 cedi or 50 pesos in bribe when the operators break the law? Kwablavi says the security apparatus protecting Ghanaians is weak. We're not safe in the hands of the IGP. Okay. This one says the police. This one says the police, they're the reason we're struggling with party militia or party vigilantism. Even politicians don't trust them. How much more the ordinary citizen? The police think they are different from Ghanaians, but one day Ghanaians will revolt against the police and it will be bloody. Kaswa is a signal. I hope we don't get there. That's from Asari.
Yes, Asari from UG. You also have a responsibility to make sure we don't get there by not escalating it with your language. Kwabna is calling from Kumasi. Good morning, Kwabna. Hi, Kwabna, good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am blessed. Let's hear you, please.
Yes, we should stop this piecemeal approach to security issues in Ghana. A few weeks ago, we were all about vigilantism and militiaism and all those kind of things. We isolated them. And at that time, everybody showed a lot of trust and confidence in the police. Today, the conversation has changed, and everybody is showing distrust in the police. We have to have a holistic approach to this issue of security in Ghana. Majority of us know that our policemen are not that professional. If we want to have a conversation on security, we must tackle all these things. Other than that, we'll be having these issues back and forth till that kingdom come. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Kwabna, for calling from Kumasi. Joe is calling from Dansoman. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Daniel.
Joe, please, I'm getting some slight feedback. Can you turn off the radio for me?
Yeah.
Great.
Am I good?
Yes, you're good now. Let's hear you.
Okay. I just want to say that, yes, I also saw the video circulating yesterday. I watched it. Let's say that 2 wrongs doesn't make a right. That we need to understand. But I also don't think that the police, like whatever happens as a security man, at least once you have the badge, you should be able to, just look at the badge and then just take things slow. I drive a lot, and almost every morning I see things on the road. As I speak with you, I just passed by a police checkpoint. I use this stretch every morning, Monday to Saturday. And there's this particular group of policemen, and I can say that for a fact. If you have a team, you can let them contact me. We will come. You will see with video and stuff. They take money. It's like a chop money. Every blessed day,
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, hold on and speak to Papaya. Okay, don't hang up. Let me take Nee from Medina. Good morning, Nee. Hi, good morning, Nee. Hi, Nee, good morning.
Good morning.
Great.
It is like a daily ritual when you allow the public to call. But once I have had the opportunity, let me say that if it is true, every Ghanaian have a right to life and for justice. So the police who was assaulted, it is wrong. But Joy, I want to I take you very serious. But for the past few weeks, honestly, you said discerning listeners, which means you respect those who call. I'm having a problem with the way you are handling certain issues. Last Saturday of all these, your program you had seemed to be like a one-sided thing, and I was very, very worried because you are not Radio Gold, you are not Oman FM. So please, Joy, I plead with you, do something about these things.
Okay, you are speaking of the representation on Newsfile, Ni?
That is it, and apart from that, your general handling of this vigilante, you see, I had expected Joy to give a very, very educative documentary about the origin of vigilantism and the way it has affected the nation vis-a-vis the two parties. But it seems that at this critical time, you see, this tape thing came on, and I had the chance of listening, and I said, hey, Ghana, where are we heading to? And it seems that we have polarized every issue. We become so politicized that we are really taking Ghana to hell. Please, I respect your station. So please do something about this.
Ni, we greatly appreciate your feedback, but stay on for me just a minute. Let me address one of the issues that you called on, which was the representation on Newsfile last week. We have made it public, Joy News and Joy FM as an entity, that we reached out to the NPP as we normally do, and they were supposed to bring representation. They did not. And that is the fact of the matter. Thank you very much, Ni, for your feedback, though. We will not ignore it. Last caller is Maxwell from Agbagba. Hey, Maxwell from America House. Forgive me, I have a colleague called Maxwell Agbagba. Maxwell, good morning.
I hope you all is well.
I am blessed. How are you?
What? I'm great. Okay. One of your earlier caller irritates me a lot because he said he calls from he's calling from North Carnation. A colleague journalist is being assaulted, and then the colleague is talking about it. You are asking the presenter to have a different platform. Which platform is different from what you are having today? I mean, I don't get it. Why are we like that? So if I'm a military guy, and then my colleague is assaulted, I should leave my colleague and go and talk about a doctor. I mean, what are you saying in Ghana here? I don't know. I don't get it. A colleague journalist is being assaulted, and then the colleague is talking about it, and you are home calling to tell the person to have a different platform.
Right, Maxwell.
Platform is no. I mean, let's call a spade.
Right, Maxwell.
Let me speak, please, because
yes, but if you can stay off the other callers' comments and just make your points, so that we can, because we don't want to have that debate between callers on issues.
Yeah, so the police should do the right thing. When is this, they quickly come out and then call arrest. What of the civilians? They should do the same for the civilians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maxwell. And that was Maxwell, our final caller. He called from American House. Very interesting thoughts coming in across board. It's 26 minutes to the top of the hour. Now, there are a number of text messages as well that we will go through. Your text messages are brought to you by Afrodan. Your back must last you a lifetime. And Glyco Critical Illness Plan, GSIP. Glyco, we cushion you for life. Afrodan offers you the most comfortable chair in the world. Period. The Nightingale Extreme Comfort Chair. With over 10 thoughtfully engineered features, especially customized for your health and comfort, working has never had this good. Go to Afrodan on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade and feel this chair. You'll be amazed. Okay, so let me shape what we are going to do going forward. Raymond is here, Malik is here, Enima is here, and Ben is here. Achina brings you. What we'll do when we come back, first of all, we need to understand what has happened legally. We'll explore that angle. Number two, there are different accounts of what happened. We'll let listeners know and we'll explore its implications on what we've seen, the video that we've seen. And we'll continue to ask that question. I think, for instance, that this issue of the Independent Complaints Commission that has been called for by different bodies, including the UN Convention on Corruption, UN Convention Against Corruption, is something that we must explore. And we are getting the police themselves as well. What do they make of the reaction of the public to an assault of one of their own? So it's a packed discussion we're having. We're all here. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's a new day. I want you to first think big, not small. Think of how great we can be when we work together. Together, we can ensure that our hard work will provide a better future. Together, we can provide a foundation for you and your business to succeed, regardless of its size. Together, we can create opportunities for all. Bank with us today and let's journey forward together. Forward together. Cowbank, forward together. Sanya mwa jay atumuno sana yeso ye jay moho and nothing ye wu queer the jay bro. Annie, this is the Market Day Wednesday. There is always good news when you buy from Malcolm, but there's extra super on every first and third Wednesday of the month. With your Malcolm Super Saver card, you earn a whooping 10% on all purchases worth 150 Ghana cedis and above. Nakai hunu se ukede di kani ukede tosu miensa wo busumi biya muna seje di yikoswo. Koso Malcolm shop BM or Ghana Finance. Hurry, look for your Malcolm Super Saver discount card and be part of this fantastic offer. And just in case you don't have, walk to any of our Malcolm branches nationwide and grab one for yourself. Discount is not valid on product already on offer. And remember, terms and conditions apply. Malcolm, where Ghana shops. Hey, Kweku, what is this? Can't you see? My fresh new Tier Rubber Hyundai with stylish leather seats, steering audio control, Bluetooth to receive all calls whilst cruising. See, I can even park with a rear view mirror camera. Simple. One button, one touch, then vroom. No key. You see how the AC they blow? Sweat be what? And all for about 63 Ghana cedis a day. Hey, Charlie, brand new Hyundai. About 63 Ghana cedis. But Kweku, how? Masa, my bank society Joanna Ghana. Charlie, all you have to do is to go to the Hyundai showroom. Choose the car you want, and SG Ghana Bank will give 100% of the funds you need to buy it. It's so simple. You get up to 60 stress-free months to pay back, and the interest rate they pay. Hey, SG Ghana Bank. Yeah, but Kweku, can I test drive it? Sir, test drive. Go get yours, Chief Test Driver. Yes, you too for Tier Rubber in your brand new Hyundai. Get full financing for the car of your dreams at the best interest rate on the market today with SG Ghana Bank. Call 0302-214-314 or visit any SG Ghana Bank branch right now. And remember, terms and conditions apply. With SG Ghana Bank, the future is you.
In this part of the world, we rise early, way before the sunrise. We plan, we pray, we prep, just so we are a step ahead. We keep the conversations going to stay connected to family, friends, and business. They say, Agrobeswa Ifrianopa. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only 1 Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy MTN Kokroko bundle now.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We are on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
Hey, Kwame, what's up here? My brother, my wife has been diagnosed with cancer. What? My brother is here with kidney disease too. Oh, yeah.
Do you know the World Health Organization estimates that over 16,000 new cases of cancers are diagnosed annually in Ghana, and kidney diseases account for 10% of all medical admissions to Korle Bu?
But thanks to Glyco-Critical Illness Plan, GSIP, I have spent over 20,000 Ghana cedis on my younger brother's disease. Yeah. What is GSIP?
Glyco-Critical Illness Plan, GSIP, provides you with financial support when diagnosed with any critical illness or dread disease such as cancers, strokes, kidney failures. Speak to GlycoLife today on 0302-218-500 for your GSIP policy. It is definitely in our interest to survive. GlycoLife, we cushion you for life.
No great story ever begun with, and we stayed at home all day and did nothing. Adventure, that's where great stories are born. Adventure has enough room for friends. It's spacious. Adventure happens in the city and out in the rough. Adventure has your back, front, side, and side. Adventure is affordable and available. Ignite your own adventure with the all-new Renault Duster with a new sleek design, comfortable drive, 360-degree multi-view camera, hill descent control system, a 1.6-liter efficient and powerful engine, and so much more. Adventure. The all-new Renault Duster is sold and serviced by Premium Motors Limited. Call 0307-079977 or visit the Renault showroom at Atiko Junction on the Kaneshi Odoko Road.
Renault, passion for life. Now, this very moment, it's the pulse of possibility, potential, power. It's time
to make your move.
To take that step.
The time
is now.
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 The great things you do tomorrow start with the small steps you take right now. So take that step with Old Mutual. Call us on 0302-230-638 and make now count. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
The government of Ghana, under the auspices of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Abudani Akufo-Addo, will host the 2019 Africa Climate Week from the 18th to the 22nd of March at the Accra International Conference Center under the theme Climate Action in Africa, a race we can win. The event, which is being organized by the Nairobi Framework Partners, NFP, the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, MESTI, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the West African Development Bank, will bring together diverse actors from the public and private sectors. Over 1,000 participants across Africa and the world are expected to participate, and this will be instrumental in demonstrating that there is genuine international support for stepping up climate action. The objective of the 2019 Africa Climate Week, among others, is for Ghana to provide a platform for interaction of different stakeholders in relation to climate action at the regional level, improve its technical capacity, create awareness, and facilitate the sharing of knowledge to woo investors to buy into the country's nationally determined contributions, NDCs. For further information, contact the EPA or visit www.epa.gov.gh, www.mesti.gov.gh, or www.regionalclimateweeks.org.
I am Dr. Acacia. Acacia gives your workers the best customer service and treatment options when the need arises, keeping them healthier and more productive for your business. Acacia Health Insurance. We place value on those you value.
Since inception, almost 100% of Ashesi University students have found jobs, started businesses, or gone on to graduate school within 6 months of graduation. From Accra to Nairobi, London to New York, Ashesi graduates are noticed and they are leading successful careers. If you dream of a rewarding life and career, an Ashesi education prepares you for just that. Learn more about applying to Ashesi at www.ashesi.edu.gh. Remember, admission is ongoing.
If you buy gold, you will save money. Because gold lasts longer. If you paint your house gold, it will shine brighter. Because gold withstands all the elements. And gold protects you from microbial growth. And it's washable. And contrary to common belief, gold comes in every color your heart desires. So, invest in gold premium acrylic paints the next time you want to paint your house. Highly washable, long-lasting, with a wide range of products from acrylic paints to enamels, primers, stuccos, and more, all engineered to the highest international standards. Protect your home. Invest in gold.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town.
It's 15 minutes to the top of the hour here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Daniel Daze. I'm here in the studio with Ben Achina Brentio, Raymond Akwa, Enimwa Enimado, and Malik Abbas Dabo. We are discussing the alleged assault of a police officer by a driver of a trotro and his mate. Let me begin with Malik. What has happened in the legal sense?
Well, it's wrong. It's actually unlawful. It's if you look at the Criminal and Other Offences Act 29, 1960, Section 205 says that a person who is, if I may just read this quickly, Section 205 says a person commits a misdemeanor who A, assaults, obstructs, molests, or resists, or aids, or incites any other person to assault, obstruct, molest, or resist a public or peace officer, or a person employed by a public or peace officer acting or proceeding to act in the execution of a warrant or legal process. This is what the section says, Section 205 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act, Act 29, 1960. Now, Daniel, when a person who is in police uniform is assaulted, you would ordinarily expect that there will be unanimity of condemnation of this act. This is the reason. When anyone sees a police officer, whether or not the person is educated, whether or not what background the person comes from, there should be an appreciation and understanding that this is a representative of the state. And therefore, the state cannot be attacked by any individual, however provoked. But when it's normal for a representative of the state who is in uniform and therefore his identity is not in doubt, and that person is attacked, and you have members of the society who believe that the attack is justified, you know that we have a tragedy on our hands. But the justifications are not without a basis. When the persons who are in uniform themselves have this high propensity for violence themselves and for abuse of other people's rights, then even though it is condemnable, you can understand and appreciate why people will find an attack on them justified.
But you see, when we give the space and say that sentiment can be understood, what does that make you and I?
The point I am making is that it is a tragedy that we find it justifiable. But one can understand why some people find it justifiable.
I think
that's
Raymond,
the point I am making.
Raymond had the word for that. Raymond, what's the word for it?
Condoning.
Exactly. No, you see, for where we sit, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm coming, Raymond, I'm coming to you, but I'm sorry to say this, but from where we sit, we can't have any other responsibility but to say that this was wrong.
Are you speaking as journalists, or are you speaking right now as Ghanaians?
Because
as a Ghanaian, my answer for you would be human. It is human that people will respond that way. It is human when we have seen categorically the public being assaulted. It is human when we ask the question that if the law can work this quickly, if this morning these people are going to be arraigned before court, what about the people who have abused Ghanaians? We did the as if we were inhumans last week. We still haven't seen justice for the man who was shot in the head.
It is human to be fair.
It is human to feel these things.
It is human. Let me finish. It is human to be fair. And it is most unfair to say that as long as a person wears a uniform, that person deserves to be beaten. That for me is the height of unfairness. And which seems to be the sentiments that I'm hearing.
But Daniel, no one has said that.
No matter who he is, as long as he's wearing a uniform,
in fact,
if he's beaten, we have the space to come and say that.
No one has said that. In fact, I have argued that there is no evidence anywhere that this police officer
give me a second.
Has beaten others in the past.
Mali, give me a second.
The words you say hurt me so much. I shame me more that much. And chana nipa huwa flow nipa. I know they bother too much, but men so me what feelings be. And see we my dear, I'm a me move. So me best me de who before be shame me move. Treat me like your brother, and treat me like your sister, and make me one of your own.
Okay, it's 9 minutes to the top of the hour. Okay, to be fair, it was Raymond's turn to speak, but Malik was still on the point. So Malik, wrap up in a minute.
Yes, I was making the point that there is no evidence anywhere that this police officer who was beaten himself has in the past beaten other people. And the answer cannot be collective burden on the police. If some police officers abuse the rights of other people, then any police officer on the street becomes a legitimate target. That cannot be a sensible way by any sensible society of dealing with abuses or excesses of police officers. But the point is, and we must make this point forcefully, that police officers must earn the respect of citizens. And that consistently, it would seem that our police put in a lot of energy in making the citizens disrespect them. When the police officers distinguish between members of the society who have money and have stature, and therefore the law does not apply to them, and the same police officers, when they see trotro drivers, they slap them on the street, the police cannot earn the respect of the citizens with this kind of attitude.
Okay.
I do not say this to say that it is justified for a police officer to be assaulted. In fact, no citizen should be assaulted by anyone.
Okay.
However provoked the person is.
Okay. Raymond, as much as we don't want to condone, we have to, and let me just say that we are working the phone lines. The police are sure they will speak to us. We are working the phone lines to get them. Raymond, respect is earned. That's a basic human principle, isn't it?
And not in the case of law enforcement agencies. I think that citizens, and we might not like it, it might be painful, and I have a very bitter experience as how the police conduct themselves. And I was telling Benji about that some time ago. To be fair, I think that when we have established society with laws working, we should respect the law enforcement agencies. If you feel the police conduct was inappropriate, there are procedures, there are laws to do with that, no matter how painful that process is. Because you see, the construction of state did not come by some magic. There were several steps and systems we went through because we knew the alternative is chaotic. We knew the alternative is survival of the fittest. We knew the alternative is to make sure that people will not be able to lead their lives. So I think the more evolved response is to say, well, the police misbehave that sometimes. People also do wrong things all the time. Let's follow lay down procedure. Let's follow the laws. Let's be clear in our minds that we do not take the law into our own hands and later on pretend that we expect the law to work. On one hand, we can't advocate that. We understand people should take the law into their hands.
Okay.
And on the other hand, say that no, that is very wrong. The system should operate in one small tube. That tube is simple. If you know that the police did something that you are opposed to, That is why people are insisting some policemen should be arrested and dealt with. That is why others are equally insisting that individuals who wrong the state ought to be dealt with that way. We cannot have some other sociological explanations for wrongdoing.
Raymond, that's eloquently said.
Okay.
At the same time, when the trottoir driver jams the light, it is not the place of the police officer to slap the trottoir driver.
Okay, guys. What we are going to do is that we are going to take... Ben, I will come to you. I want to hear your question, but we'll take Raymond's submission. And the question to ask is that, what if the law itself is wrong? Mina Mensah is head of the Africa office at the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, and she's joining us on the line to tell us about a gap in the legislation surrounding policing in the country, which may lead to some of this mistrust in the system. Mina, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, good morning, Daniel, and good morning to your listeners.
So, anti-corruption institutions across the world have been spearheading this fight for an independent police complaints commission. Why is it important?
Thanks, Daniel. It's important because you see, you can't ask an institution to police itself. It's normally very difficult. Apart from that, it's like saying that somebody should be a judge and a jury in his own court. Even if the person does a good job and speaks the truth, perception will be that because it's an internal thing, it is not, whatever they are saying is not true. Secondly, sometimes for an institution like the police, people are even afraid to go and complain to the police themselves about something that the policeman has done. So, for the purposes of ensuring that democratic principles are respected, it is good to have an independent body to oversee all these things. For example, that's why we have an independent body overseeing elections, because then parties would know that it's an independent body, even if they have their suspicions, at least that respectability is there. So that's one of the reasons why it is good to have an independent police complaint authority.
So that deals, great. That deals, Mina, with the reasoning behind the IPCC. But Mina, realistically, what have we done about getting a body like this, and what would it take to have it created in the country?
Oh, civil society has been pushing for this as far back as since I joined CHRI in 2007. And at the time I joined CHRI, there were conversations going on. CHRI had been asking, another civil society organization had been asking for the setting up of an independent body. In fact, in recent times, we have actually done a research document. We've engaged policymakers. In 2014, the police service itself called for an independent body. Unfortunately, it's been talk. And you know the police cannot set up a body for themselves. It is government that ought to do that. Specifically, the Ministry of Interior is supposed to spearhead that. But from where I'm standing, I do not think that the Ministry of Interior is really interested in setting up anything of the sort.
So we've been lobbying...
Yes.
I was going to ask, that we've been lobbying government since 2013.
Yes. We've been lobbying government since 2013. And in 2014, we all agreed that there was the need for such a body. What needed to be done was the form in which they ought to take. Some government especially wanted it set up at the Ministry of Interior. And civil society said, no, you can't have an independent body at the Ministry of Interior because that is the parent institution of the police. It needs to be outside the Ministry of Interior. And so it was back and forth. Now it looks like the conversation is again tilted towards that because we've been meeting stakeholders. We met the AG, the Chief Justice. They were all for an independent body outside. Unfortunately, the key stakeholder, the Ministry of Interior, we tried several times to meet with the minister, and we are not getting audience. So it is because that's the ministry that would have to initiate the processes. Civil society can engage, but civil society does not make laws. It's government that makes law.
Thank you, Mina Mensah, for joining us this morning.
You're welcome, Daniel.
Great. She's the head of the Africa office at the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, and she was speaking to us about the International Police Complaints Commission that has been lobbied for, as you heard, since 2013. Now, why did we add this to the conversation? Because the basis of all the sentiments we are hearing around the table, in the text console, on the phone line is mistrust. The questions that we've been asking are, can police officers be held accountable? This is an independent arrangement that enables police officers accountability. What would it take to have this independence, like a special prosecutor, if you like, for police officers? So what would it take to have something like this set up? You see, if we keep speaking and we don't push for what structures can make it work, I shudder to think what would happen in 10 years when we have to sit and have this conversation again. So we were thinking that it would be good to put this out there so that we can begin to understand what to demand for. Because for you listening to me out there, for us here in the studio, it is important that we know what to demand for. Not just the result of investigations, but for bodies that can investigate independently. And we can trust their results, like Mina said. Because it's an independent body, we should be able to trust their results. So that's the great idea that had. Achena, I want you to ask your question now and explain it after JBM. So what's the question?
Okay, this is the question. The police officer, in the course of discharge of their duties, have a right to use minimal force in case they face any form of resistance. My question is this: the citizen or the citizenry have a right under the law for self-defense in case they feel threatened in any way. Now, if the citizenry's life is threatened by a police officer and he decides not to assault a police officer but to defend himself, to protect his life, will we simply say that there's an assault on a police officer? Okay. I don't know if the question is clear to you.
Okay, so is this does a citizen have a right to defend himself against physical assault by a police officer? Okay, we'll try and answer this question when we come back. This is still the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We are just taking the Joy Business Minutes. We'll be back after a minute.
Hello, it's a new week
of the Joy Business Minute with Karen and Daryl.
The Ghana cedi continues to record some appreciation against the dollar on the market. The local currency on Thursday and Friday held its own against the dollar.
So how is the cedi faring against other major trading currencies? The British pound is going for 7 cedis 61 per Swiss. The euro, on the other hand, is likely to be sold to you this morning at 6 cedis 50 per Swiss.
The National Insurance Commission has reviewed plans to seek an amendment to the current Insurance Act to include compulsory insurance of government properties. This follows calls by some players in the industry for mandatory insurance of all state assets to boost penetration, which currently hovers around 2%.
And remember, the Joy Business Financial Services Forum focusing on the insurance sector takes place tomorrow at the Tank Palace Hotel. The topic is recapitalizing to grow a panacea for expansion, penetration, and big business underwriting.
Don't miss it.
See you there.
Treat me like your brother, and treat me like your sister, Please make me one of your own. Treat me like your sister, In things I want me to me da baby,
So it's 2 minutes past 9 here on the Super Morning Show in Joy 99.7 FM. Achena asked a very key question before we took the Joy Business Minutes, which was a simple one. Does the citizen have the right to defend himself against the police? My counter question to that will be, who determines what self-defense is?
I could be one of yours. Treat me like your brother.
We are trying to answer a few of these questions today on the Super Morning Show. But with over 30 years in the stationery business, Kingdom Books and Stationery now offers a 30-day credit facility with no interest charge. We deliver free within Accra, Tema, and surrounding towns. Call us on 0302-764-101 or 762-307 or visit kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your number one stop shop for all office essentials, stationery and furniture.
Please make me one of your own.
Now, the Glyco Critical Illness Plan GSIP has been designed to alleviate some of the financial burdens critical illness poses on loved ones and family. Do not wait until it's too late. Sign on to the Glyco Critical Illness Plan GSIP for financial support when diagnosed with critical illness such as cancers, strokes, kidney failures, and others. Speak to Glyco Life today for your GSIP policy on 020-2222-113 or dial star Glyco on your Star phone app available on Android and iOS. Glyco Life, we cushion you for life. So, Achena, to my question, who determines what self-defense is?
No, what I'm saying is that under the laws, individuals have right to protect themselves, to preserve their lives. And if in the process, if you cause some form of harm to the one who is threatening your life, the law gives you, the law calls it, I'm trying to get the right technical definition for it. You have a right to self-defense. You have a right to protection of life. Because you see, there are times that we've had people or so-called police officers who have been involved in armed robbery, who have been involved in rape, who have been involved in all forms of criminal activity. But before they engage in that act, we see them introduce themselves as police officers. And whilst you accept them genuinely for who they say they are, in the process, they harm you. What I'm simply saying is that we may never be able to tell whether we're going to have our day in court, whether we're going to go through the full rigor of the law. So if at any point in time a police officer is acting in a manner that I feel my life is threatened, I think that despite the reverence we have for the uniform, despite how we perceive them and all of that, the first thing we need to do is to be able to protect ourselves as we would have protected ourselves against any form of threat to our life. That's the first thing I would say. Secondly, I buy completely into the independent complaint unit that is being discussed because it is so ridiculous and unfathomable how you can assault me or how you can cause injustice to me and I bring the complaint to the same person to do it. I don't think that this should happen in any developed democracy, any point of democracy where we don't want to become a laughing stock. This has been going on for a long time and it's about time we put a break to it. But you see...
Forgive me. We accept it when we feel that we have been ill-treated by a court, a judge in place. We take it to another court, perhaps a higher court. Can't we see this particular system that the police have put in place? For example, PIPs, in this case, I've seen reports from them dealing with some issues in times past. I do not... sometimes we have a very narrow, and this is without, what they call it, any intent to disregard what people have said about it. We have a very... not so broadened appreciation of some of these institutions. We might have thought they had not done enough, especially if you have not been privy to the things they've done before and how effective they have been. Shouldn't it be first the people who are appointed to the institutions to do the work, two, the integrity of the institution itself, and perhaps three, what is the history and how are they delivered? Shouldn't that be the overriding principles in this case? So, for example, the call by the grouping that there should be some independent institution of any kind.
Yes.
What is it based on? Merely because policemen are not in the position to review the work of other police people?
It's based on the principle that you can't be a judge and a witness in your own court.
Yes, but I mean, in this case, it's different set of people that we are dealing with in this case. Why do we think, for example, that if I go before court and I think that this judge is very biased, I have to elevate it to a higher one? Let's say take the judge to a higher court, the case I'll go and deal with it at a different level. It's not the same that if I feel that the East Legon police have been unfair to me or I've been beaten by somebody in that case, I have to go to PIPS or any of the higher institutions for it to be dealt with.
But they are still police institutions, Raymond.
Yes, of course. And the courts are equally court institutions that are dealt with, maybe to the level of in the Supreme Court in this case. I'm not disputing. I'm just saying that I am not hearing them say that we have actually analyzed their work for the last 15 years. We think that this is the major defect, merely because they are the ones at different levels dealing with it. That's why they're unable to deal with it properly. And that will sound more scientific to me than a generalized principle in its application.
Raymond, you have to be fair that an Independence Complaints Commission is a principle that is applied internationally. So in the UK, for instance, you have an ICC that constantly takes these complaints against the police. And so the empirical testing of the effectiveness of such a body, it is something that is there that we have seen repeatedly.
Aside it being international best practice, I think Raymond should have demonstrated to us cases that were brought before the police, how they've dispensed with them, especially if it got to do with the police themselves. We've heard of the Ghanaian Times journalist who was assaulted last week, and we've heard of also this case. But what we are hearing now is that this case is ready for court. Do we have the same about the Ghanaian Times journalist who was assaulted much earlier than this particular case? So if Raymond can demonstrate that cases that went to the police, they did justice to it, we can believe. But in the court, as he cited, we've seen judges who have given divergent ruling or divergent judgment that their own judges gave, and even in some instances have been very harsh in their criticism. We need to move the conversation forward. Sometimes you can have isolated issues where you get one or two policemen misbehaving. But Daniel, I want to be bold and say that the kind of infraction we see go on in the police service, the kind of problems everybody seems to be complaining about, seems to be widespread, and the good practice rather seems to be the exception. Now,
what's the basis of this impression? That the wrong cases are widespread and the good cases are, exceptions.
Okay, let me give
it's a very strong statement.
Exactly. That's why I warned before making that point. Mm-hmm. Take a typical case to the police station, and you have opened the phone lines. If you just do a survey by this text message and by the phone calls, it should tell you that the people who called across the country, these are their views concerning the police service. That's minute. Invite the police to a demonstration scene, and they rather escalate it. Invite the police, for example, to come and arrest somebody, and you see the brutal force that is applied. Invite the police to come and investigate a certain case, and you realize that you are not getting anywhere. I'm thinking that we need to begin to ask questions about the instructional manual, the training format, the program that people who pass out as police officers go through before they finally come out, because they seem to show similarities in terms of how police everywhere behave in this country. They are you can ask them questions, you can engage them, they cannot become your friend. They think that the first thing to do is to threaten you. They are generally, I don't want to say corrupt, but when it comes,
the Afrobarometer, all 6 rounds of the Afrobarometer has found that Ghanaians' perception of the most corrupt institutions, the police often tops the list.
Perception. Exactly.
Yeah, I did say perception.
And Daniel, if we review their training, and we discover that there's fundamental problem in terms of what they are being taught, then maybe we can look at it. But aside that, I'm also thinking that it is about time we begin to look at public officers, people in public office, not just the police service, their relationship with the citizenry as that of a business person and their client. Okay. When we look at it from a business model, and we know that my business will succeed because I have customers, or because I have clients, or I live because of my client, we'll be more courteous, we'll be more polite, our service will be more refined. It is not enough that the police know their job. It is complete if they know how to serve it to the people they are working for.
Interesting, very thought-provoking arguments Achina is putting us today. But Raymond has, but you see, Raymond, look.
Yeah.
The posts from UNCAC, the UNCAC related post that I read earlier on the news review, it revealed that we have 6 months training for these officials, thousands across the country.
Yeah.
And we cannot place our hands on this regular refresher courses that are giving them. So clearly there must be some merit in these calls.
Yeah, calls for regular training, updated training, proper recruitment, not recruitment of full soldiers and people who are ill qualified. Get them. And they were made in 2004. If you have read the NRC National Reconciliation Commission's report, it gave almost a 15-page document specifically on police reforms, structures, who appoints who is responsible for what, who gets to sit on which board, so that the structures can be independently settled in a way that you believe in this one. These recommendations I believe in concretely. And I also think that the police itself and also the superintendent ministry has not done enough to tool the service in the way that they ought to work properly. My only difficulty was with if you bring an external institution, it will, one, be independent, two, deal with the things independently. That is why I sought to say we need more to back it. We need, because we have done these things before. You set an institution with the thinking that it would necessarily be independent, but it doesn't guarantee any element of independence in any way. We need to properly study it properly and get to the bottom of the matter, not looking at the usual modes of dealing with things and merely saying that I and you're very good, sir, we are good friends, so we cannot be independent even if we work together and do the same things.
Quick question. Beyond the president's promise in the run-up to the 2016 election, what was the local evidence we had to set up the Office of Independent Prosecutor?
Okay, so what we had done before, I think the GI, I also have seen the Faculty of Law. There's been several reports from there about how we cannot, for the periods that we have seen, trust the Attorney General's office to do, because of the inherent political bias, because it still has executive control, to ask people that it sits in the same cabinet with to court in many forms. In fact, this was debated, on several platforms. Forgive me, belongs to the school of thought that office really was going to be what it is doing today, or how it has become today. So,
I asked the question for a reason. I asked the question for a reason because I do recall a number of these surveys, and they pointed to the Independent Corruption Agency that was pointed at in the NACAP.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Good. But the separation of the Attorney General from the office of the
Minister of Justice,
from the Ministry of Justice,
yes.
This is a debate that we knew was enshrined constitutionally, and so was very difficult to implement. The point I'm making is that specific cases were drawn out, which has pointed to this mistrust. Latif's case and a number of other cases, the Ghanaian Times journalist case, and it seems to be the basis for the calls for this IPCC.
What I'm getting is that, again, I want you to be able to throw me out on these ones. Are these not in the minority of cases? And how do you make a major decision like that on minority of cases?
Okay.
How scientific is that?
Raymond, would have to wrap up the conversation here. What we'll do is that when we come back, we'll take like 3 messages before we transition to the next conversation.
We don't want no pushing or fighting in our community. Give me that same old peace.
Messages. I will be back where we'll be talking about